Okay, guys, we are back on the Stunt and Tell. Today, I have a special guest, Kwazi. Kwazi.
Hello, everyone.
Kwazi Makaba. Okay, Kwazi, tell people where you're from and what do you do?
Okay. Hello, world. I'm from. Okay. Hello, world. I'm from Quebeca or PE, and I'm a multidisciplinary artist. I specialize in visual storytelling, with a specialization in digital illustration, as well as leaning into traditional artworks like pencil sketches and traditional painting as well.
Okay, so when did you start like making illustrations and drawings?
Funny thing, I have a working theory that I've been drawing since I was 3 years old.
Okay.
But I only have concrete evidence of me drawing since I was 5. I used to draw maps of my preschool as a hobby.
Yeah.
I only really took it up as a passion or an illustration, as something to dive into when I was 15 years old.
Yeah, you were in 15 in high school, right?
Yeah, I was in high school at the time.
Okay.
And I started looking at a lot of, a lot of different medias that were publicized on screen, like animated movies, video games, and a lot of stuff like that. And I saw that there was a space for art in that sort of industry, a place where I could potentially see myself one day creating my own movies or comic books or stuff like that. So, yeah.
Okay, what's the hardest part about making illustration?
I'd say it's a mix of patience and finding the time to actually do it. It's like being stuck between a rock and a hard place. You need a lot of time to create quality, but at the same time, you're being stretched a lot of ways. Like, for example, I have studies, I have my family, I have work that I have to take care of that's not related to art. So it's trying to find that balance that's the most difficult aspect of the whole thing, I guess.
Okay. So where did you go to secondary school?
At first, I went to this one place called St. George's College. There they actually did have art as a subject for a little bit, as well as an art club, but unfortunately it closed down. So then I went.
The whole school closed down?
Yeah, the whole school closed down.
Okay.
And then I went to this other school called St. Mark's Community School.
Okay.
It's up by Framesby. I studied there from grade 10 to grade 12. Finished my matriculate there.
Okay. Yeah. So right now you're studying in NMU?
No, I'm actually studying at Varsity College.
Varsity College?
Yeah, up by Green Acres. I'm doing my Bachelor of Commerce there.
Okay. So, like, what type of illustration do you focus on?
I love to do character illustrations, especially of characters that I resonate with their stories. For example, I love to draw characters from this one video game, League of Legends. Lots of great stories that resonate with the people, stories of sadness, love, betrayal. It's an amazing source of inspiration that I love to tap into for my illustrations.
Yeah. Okay, man. Do you like prefer digitally or like traditional illustration?
Honestly, I prefer digital illustrations.
Yeah.
Because they are a lot more efficient, I guess. You don't have to worry about the cost of material, such as the right type of paper or pencils and stuff like that. If you have a screen and you have the skill, you'll be able to create good art, and the only cost that will come is just printing.
Okay.
That's
all. That's perfect. Which software do you use to do your illustrations?
I use this one called Infinite Painter. I'd love to get the chance to use Procreate or Photoshop, but those are way too out of my budget right now.
Yeah.
So for now, I just like to tap into Infinite Painter, nice free software, and really does have everything that I would need to create my illustrations. The painterly brushes, the textures, solid combo for me.
Okay. So, like, in your journey, right? Who influenced your artistic? Like, okay.
God, that would. I understand what you're trying to say,
Okay.
and it would have to be my dad the
Okay.
most.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he's not with us, but
Okay.
he was a major motivation for my art.
Yeah.
A small story, but I was in grade 2 when I first found my dad's sketchbook. And at the time, I was feeling really high and mighty about the fact that I could draw. So when I saw my dad's sketchbook, it really humbled me.
Yeah, okay.
He was a league above me by bounds, leaps and bounds. So after that moment, I dedicated myself for like the next 10 years to measure up to him and then eventually surpass him in terms of artistic skill.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's been my major motivation.
Yeah, man. Shout out to your father, man.
Appreciate it.
Okay. So, what did you say you're doing in Varsity College?
I study my Bachelor of Commerce.
Oh, Commerce. Okay.
Yeah.
You don't do any illustrations in school?
No, there's no field for that
Okay.
yet. I plan to start something there. I'm gonna see if I can start an art club, and then, provided it goes well, we might be able to introduce art as an actual faculty of study at the university. That's my goal, at least.
Okay. Okay, man. Like, have you worked with like brands or other artists, or maybe a company? Let's say it's company.
Sort of. I'm working with one right now.
Which is
Bulkin Burger.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm doing illustrations for them. I'm creating comic books, little posters.
I saw actually one poster last week. Yeah, this week I think.
Yeah, and then there's another one that's coming next week. I finished it just today on basic health tips that the restaurant wants to push out. What else? I also managed to managed to begin negotiations with Huawei on the newest tablet that they're pushing for artists to use.
Okay.
We're still in the negotiation phase, but so far that's another brand deal that we've kind of locked down.
Okay.
And yeah, I've also sort of partnered with Varsity College as well. They, in tandem with me, launched a small arts exhibition for a market evening with young entrepreneurs and creatives who wanted to. Oops, that's a blooper.
Yeah.
Young entrepreneurs and creatives who wanted to showcase their talents to the rest of the school. So yeah, that's also one that I managed to.
Okay, nice. So how do you go about like working with these brands? Like, do you guys like collaborate or to show like your stuff on their pages, or to their customers, or just working for money?
It's a nice mix of all three, I guess, because with these brands, me working with them also allows me to gain access to the huge market base that they've built up over the years. Right? So whatever art I push out, they market, their audiences also get to see the type of work that I do. So that's kind of how one way this symbiotic relationship works.
Yeah.
And then with a few of these brands, the pay is also really nice because they recognize that what I'm doing is a very skillful task, and not everyone can do it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, man.
Yeah.
So if you were not an illustrator, what would I be doing? Yeah.
Honestly, I think I would probably head into marketing. Yeah, because I've built up quite a bit of self-confidence and recognize that I do have a penchant for connecting with people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that would probably be the other alternative if I wasn't an artist.
Okay.
But yeah.
So what motivates you to keep going, like when things get tough and on?
I have this vision of what I want to, somewhat of what I want to be when I'm
in the future.
Yeah, in the future. Right?
Mm-hmm.
I see myself with my own gallery, selling my art commercially, but across an international level.
Mm-hmm.
I see myself on TED Talks and stuff like that, and there's this message that comes through with all these aspirations that it's still possible for a person to succeed in the art industry. Mm-hmm. And I want to push that message through my success to everyone else so that they can also believe that too.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the thing that kind of gets me up in the morning, gets me thinking about arts in the
Mm-hmm.
night and during the day and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the goal. You're not just drawing for yourself. You're drawing so that you can inspire other people to do the same.
Okay. Yeah, nice, man. Yeah, okay. So if you could like change one thing about the world, what would you change?
Honestly,
one thing.
How close-minded the world is. Mm-hmm. Like I understand that it doesn't. People aren't naturally closed-minded. They don't just decide not to look at things one way.
I think that the media has a significant effect on it.
Yeah, I think it does because of how powerful and how large its reach is.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay, let's continue.
Okay.
Do you believe in polygamy?
Polygamy?
Yeah.
Honestly, it's never really been my sort of tea. Like,
yeah,
I believe that we're sort of built for one person. One person's supposed to find us. We're supposed to find that one person. Mm-hmm. There's a certain unity that comes with monogamy that you won't really find in polygamy, I guess.
That's true.
So yeah.
Okay. So do you get support from your family members? Like not just your mom or your brother?
Kind of.
Okay.
My mom, bless her, like I don't know how I could even describe how much I wouldn't be where I am without her. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But in terms of the art support, it's not, how about this? She doesn't really do that much. Mm-hmm. Not that I ask her to, and I don't expect her to. Yeah. But this is something that I've sort of learned to build up by myself. She's the type of person to believe in the more realistic route, the safest route, because she cares about us. Mm-hmm. Right? But it's not like she hasn't allowed me to take these risks that I'm taking. Yeah. She doesn't stop me from doing what I want to do. There's just, she has resources that she allocates to the best possible future for me. And yeah, the art thing is something that I've built up myself. Yeah. I've also been grateful, been blessed enough to have two brothers who really like the work that I push out. One of them constantly asks about what I'm drawing next, what's next in my sketchbook, and stuff like that.
Older brother?
Yeah, it's my twin brother.
Oh, twin. Yeah. Okay. That's nice.
But yeah. And then there's the support I get from my friends as well. Mm-hmm. Ineffable. I cannot describe how grateful I am to have those friends behind my back pushing me forward. You know, the wind behind the sails. But yeah, that's it.
Nice. So, do you believe in God? Like, do you believe that heaven is real?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I believe that because, I firmly believe that the person who we are now is the person that's going to end up in heaven one day. So if you're the type of person to go out of your way to do good for others, you know, to help, be kind, respect each other.
Yeah.
Honestly, be the best sort of person that you can in relation to another, then you are going to go to a better place when you die. And yeah.
Okay. So you're a Christian or Muslim?
Christian.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
So I want you to choose between these things, right? Photoshop or Illustrator?
Adobe Photoshop. I think that's
okay.
More.
Are you a morning person or a night owl?
I'm a night owl.
Okay.
I stay up in the night. Sure. I've stayed up till 3 a.m. this morning. I'm not gonna lie. Just for the fun of it.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah.
So, do you prefer? Okay. Do you like music or podcast?
Well, I've definitely gotten a really good introduction to the podcast industry. So I'm definitely going to look into that. But I'm a music type of guy. Okay. I love to have...
What type of music do you do?
Let's see. I like R&B, lots of rap. Like, I'm not sure if you've heard of this thing called nerdcore. But nerdcore. It's a genre of rap that focuses on, multimedia, like comic books and stuff like that. Really, really great and intense stuff. Also like a little bit of rock, but not like, how about this? Like, you know how rock can either be super family friendly or it can be another type of intense. I prefer the family friendly type of rock. Motivational and stuff like that. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's nice, man. So, books or movies?
Both.
Both. Okay.
I love reading the fantasies.
What's your favorite book?
I think that would have to be Spider-Man Forever Young. Okay. It's not a comic book, it's a thing. It's a novel based on the Spider-Man character where, spoilers, but Peter Parker has to deal with Aunt May's death while still trying to, balance everything else that happens in his life. It's a tale that's old as time and it's portrayed multiple times in media. But I feel like the book really solidified how much of a how much of a demanding situation the character is at all times. So yeah.
Okay. It's nice book, man. So, okay. Do you prefer like winter or summer?
I'm a winter type of guy. My skin is like way too sensitive in the sun. So yeah.
So, dogs or cats? I didn't see a pet here.
That is a good one. Both of them have so many positives. Yeah. A cat is small. It's small. It's quiet. Yeah. And there's a space for it everywhere. It just wants to do it. It just wants to do its own business and maybe bother you just for a little bit. Dogs, on the other hand, they are also really positive, playful. They never hold grudges. So honestly, if I was lucky to, I'd probably have both. Again.
So you don't have a pet now?
No, I used to. He was this bunny. He was, two bunnies. Okay. It's just that we had to move and they were getting too big, so we gave them to our neighbor who had this huge garden, and they just had the time of their lives.
So you had to move.
Yeah,
so you didn't stay here before?
No, I didn't. There was this one place in Kabiga.
No.
Kabiga.
Okay.
That's where we used to stay.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay, nice. So do you prefer I don't know the place you're talking about. So do you prefer here or that side?
I actually prefer here quite a bit. It's close to the beach, close to the mall. Yeah. Helps me maintain my connections as well as, keep exercise. Like I keep active and stuff like that with the walks I take. It's a pretty nice place here.
Okay. No, nice, man. So let's talk about your illustrations, man.
Okay.
So you can show us your illustrations.
Okay.
Also, all of the illustration behind your back.
Yeah.
Were made by you, right?
Every single one of them.
Okay.
For anyone who wants to take a look, they're on my Instagram at kwaz.arts. kwaz.arts. But for now, I'll just take you to a small tour of my sketchbook illustrations, the traditional works. So this sketchbook, been through a lot, was gifted to me by a friend, Danae Lowe.
When was that?
Last year, March.
Okay, I think. Last year, March.
Yeah.
So it's been a year now.
It's been a year.
Okay.
She gave this to me after finding out that I sketch a little bit, 2 weeks after I met her. So that's quite nice. The person. Now I want you guys to prepare. That's
the first thing you drawn, right?
This is the first thing I drew.
On that book?
On this book.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Okay. So. Wow. Quite the starter, right?
Yeah.
Felt like it would be a nice way to surprise anyone who wants to see it because it's very attention grabbing.
That's true.
But yeah, other than it being a little bit of a gag, this character is from a video game called Mortal Kombat 1. And I was inspired by, because this person is also a twin, and her story is also pretty nasty.
Yeah.
She was this daughter born in royalty who wanted to have a little bit of fun due to the pressures that were packing up in her life. She was royalty and she was expected to be empress.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, during one evening where she decided to disobey the rules and head out, she had contracted this disease that unfortunately mutilated her face.
Okay.
It changed her from a mental and physical level.
Okay.
But she's a different person now. She's trying to sort of live with this curse as well as be the empress that she needs to be. So she sort of accepted that role, but realized that she has to be the difference that she needs and everyone else who's contracted the same disease as her needs as well. So
nice.
Now, number 2. Not sure if you guys might be able to recognize this.
Who's that?
This is actually Zendaya. Zendaya Coleman from the Dune Red Carpet, right?
Okay. I know Zendaya.
Yeah.
Also in Spider-Man.
Also in Spider-Man. She's a bit of a role model for me, like black, successful, stylish, authentic herself. And this one I did after seeing her Dune premiere outfit for the first time, and I thought
the first Dune.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I thought no, this is for the second Dune, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I felt that this was a really inspiring, sort of get up that she had, It was authentic, it was her, she wanted it, and it hasn't really been done before.
Okay.
So yeah, felt that I wanted to capture it for a little bit. And then this one is a drawing of Kindred, a video game character from League of Legends. She is pretty much the Grim Reaper of that universe.
So she again?
Sort of.
You see, every illustrator I see here, it's a woman.
Yeah, but to be fair, Picasso drew a lot of women too.
Okay.
So yeah. But yeah. And in this world, she's pretty much the kinder side of death. The one that's gentle. Quick, easy. Compared to her counterpart, which is sort of displayed by this mask. I'm not sure if you can see it, but it's actually of a wolf.
Yeah, I can see it.
And her counterpart is a lot more vicious. But yeah, I just wanted to capture that sort of duality. It's from the Still Here cinematic that was published by League of Legends.
Okay.
Now.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then this one is of Timothy Chalamet from Dune again.
Yeah.
Just wanted to capture sort of his main character moment. A lot of responsibility is now on his shoulders, and I wanted to capture that in this moment, the way that he looks onto the horizon.
Yeah.
He's uncertain, but he knows that what has to happen, he has to lead it. Yeah. And it's not even that he's prepared, but it's the fact that no other person is going to be able to do it. I think one quote from the movie franchise that I feel fits for this painting is, "Great men do not seek to lead. They are called to it, and only the bravest answer." So yeah. And then this one was just a little experiment, watercolor painting from Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Okay. We have the main one, Spider-Gwen, as well as her counterparts. These were sort of replicas to Miles Morales' drawings with the little sticky notes and stuff like that. Yeah. And yeah, I was just having a little fun with highlighters and markers at the time. Okay. This one was a commission. Interesting. Of Avatar, The Last Airbender. He wanted to give him a more dramatic pose to it with the ink work and the watercolor, give it a more ancient scroll type of feel. Yeah. Felt like I did a pretty decent job. Maybe a bit of refinement for a later round. But yeah. Nice. Okay. This one is of a certain set of lovebirds, Rakan and Zaya, two other video game characters with a captivating love story. Yeah. The two freedom fighters of a certain type of race that are oppressed due to the looks and stuff. But so quick one. Yep. You love the video games, right? I love video games. Not necessarily playing them, but the type of story writing that goes into them. Yeah. So yeah, that's sort of my MO. Okay. But yeah. And yeah, freedom fighters, they deal with a lot of oppression, but they found themselves both fighting for the same cause and have been the ride or die for each other in every single case. Also, from Mortal Kombat, Bi-Han, the eldest of the three brothers, Scorpion, Smoke, and Sub-Zero. This one I just drew him because I like the character. Okay. I think a part of me kind of resonated because he's also the oldest sibling, and I was like, matching energies and stuff like that. Okay. Let's see. Now, we have this one. Not sure if anyone's gonna recognize this in 2025, but this character's name is Kiri from Avatar: The Way of Water, the one with the blue alien cats and stuff like that. Yeah. And this one, the movie, right? Yeah, the movie. I know the movie. Yeah. This one I wanted to draw because of just how much I admired I admired how this character was written. From the start, she was made to be different. Yeah. She valued nature, the smaller things in life. Okay. And she was very... I want to see the character. Okay. So yeah. Yeah, I can continue talking. And she enjoyed the smaller things in her life. And she was very closed off. She felt there was something more to her that was different from everyone else. Yeah. But yeah, and I also loved just how authentic and positive she was in her moments. She had the most beautiful scenes, and I just felt captivated by that. Okay, what's the name of the... It's Avatar: The Way of Water. Name of that character? Kiri. Okay. K-I-R-I. K-I-R-I, yeah. Okay. Okay, I see. Okay. Continue. Okay, then. Now, this one, we're dipping into comic book territory. Okay. This one is an unfinished illustration of the Red Hood from the Batman franchise. The Robin that died and came back. Yeah. I just felt like drawing this because this was a really cool character, and I also loved the tragedy of his story as well. Yeah. He was innocent, he was kind, but he was drafted into this war, being the fight against crime in Gotham, you know, the Robin who had to fight the Joker and eventually died because of that. So yeah, he came back more ruthless, more ideological about how he should take care of crime. He's more drastic way of thinking. And I saw this comic book scene that I felt like replicating. I just didn't have the red at the time. Kind of ironic. Okay. And then this one. This one is a pretty loose sketch of Luca from Grownish. Just felt like drawing him because of how it resonated with the whole.
How long did it take you to draw this, like finished?
A lot of these are finished in about 4 hours, maybe. Especially since I'm studying, because like I have to compact a lot of what I do into that sort of time frame. But yeah. So yeah, that's Luca. Just wanted to draw him because I resonated with how artistic he was and felt like he was a pretty cool character. Okay. Now,
another interesting one.
Yeah. This one was from an elite level video game. Honestly, I think it was ahead of its time, and it's still going to be ahead of its time for a few more decades. It's called Detroit Become Human. Basically, where you have to play as 3 different androids, where you've essentially gained consciousness. You're no longer just a robot. You're able to think. But now, you have to adjust to the world full of humans who only see you as tools. And as you gain more sentience, you become a person in the important ways that count. The world is starting to recognize that, and they have to adapt to you too. This is an illustration of one of these robots. Her name was she's a caretaker robot who happens to be in the possession of an abusive father. Now, she awakened her sentience, or awakened her conscience, after trying to protect a daughter that was being abused. And they've been on a long struggle to both gain freedom as well as safety so that they can both end up in a better situation. And this is an illustration of a moment where we see the type of damage that she endures. I feel like this one was also a nice sort of bridge between the fact that she's not human, but at the same time, the most human. She cares the most, she hurts the most, but at the same time, she's not really designed to. The mechanics, like, we can see the mechanics and we can see the actual flesh that's being presented. So yeah. And I think this is like the last illustration.
How long did it take to?
This one was probably about 2 hours. The shorter one.
When did you do that?
This one was around, I think, the start of August, I think.
So last year?
Yeah, last year. And this one took the shortest amount of time because it was watercolor. So the stuff dries really fast. There's this one TikToker that I found. She had this really cool vibe to her, so I was like, okay, this would be a nice thing to do. Plus, it was during a time where I was having trouble sleeping, so I felt like this was a nice way to burn energy. So yeah, not much to it. And then here, just a bunch of little notes that I made. Just some digital art strategies, who I'm going to draw next, and stuff like that. And yeah,
so
that's
the book is full, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
I think that's it for the traditional ones.
Nice. Perfect. So, what advice do you have, like, for someone who wants to like do illustrations about maybe in the future, or wants to start now, or what?
Work at your own pace. Like, it's understandable for you to want to make progress fast, because there's so much competition in this world. Like, despite art not necessarily being recognized as a viable future, there's a lot of competitors for it. You have to realize that you as an artist, bring your own certain flavor into the mix.
Okay.
And that flavor has to be developed at the pace that it itself needs to be. You mustn't compare yourself to other artists who've been studying this stuff for years, who've had multiple years, decades of experience. They've worked with the greats and stuff like that. They've had all these opportunities. Work at your own pace, figure out what you want to bring to the table, and realize that it's going to happen. It's not going to happen as soon as you want it to be. That's not how the game works. But eventually, it's going to happen. So yeah.
Okay. Now, man, I think we're done for today.
Oh, hey.
Please.
Thank you. Thank you, world. It's a pleasure talking to you guys.
Good interview, man. I'm happy, and you did everything that I needed, man. Okay. So I appreciate you for. I came to your home, so I appreciate you for coming to my show.
I appreciate this too. Yeah. I really do. Yeah. And thanks for the opportunity. I had a blast. Honestly.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. And so tell people how they can get hold of you if they want something or collaborate or something. I don't know.
Okay then. Guys, a lot of my socials and stuff, all my links are posted on my Instagram. It's called Kwaz. Yeah, Kwaz.arts. So KWAZ.ARTS. You'll see a lot of my artworks, my Gmail, and all my other links there. You can also look at my Facebook at Kwazi Makaba. Or my TikTok at Kwaz.arts. But yeah. Also, should I also post my number?
No, just email me.
Just email. Yeah. My email is magabakwazi32@gmail.com.
Okay. So, yeah, man. Perfect. Thank you, guys. Yeah, that's it, man. That's it for me. See you next time.